Hey y'all, I scored in the Casper 4th quartile and I'm going to tell you exactly what I did to do this.
Alright, in all reality, I only studied for probably a total of 3 to 4 days before my exam. What I did initially was just watch a ton of podcast episodes on taking the Casper, what I needed to know, and just get an understanding of the test itself, so I knew what I was getting myself into. While I was listening to all of these podcasts, I took some kind of light notes just on things that stood out or things that I wanted to incorporate into my strategy and whatnot. And then after I was done listening to all of these podcasts, I went to YouTube, and there are a bunch of practice YouTube Casper sample scenarios that you can do. So for these, I would time myself in all of my answers, and I would answer every other one as either a video or as a typed. With the videos, I would actually record myself on my phone and watch it back to see how I responded to the answer within the time constraints that they gave. And for the written ones, I would type it all out in a Word document and then submit it into ChatGPT and ask it to give me feedback, ways to improve, and give me the actual score that I would get on the Casper based off of the answer that I submitted. I probably did this with a total of 5 to 6 YouTube videos, I think. There were a few from BMO that I did that I can think of off the top of my head, and just other YouTube videos that had a lot of likes that were Casper practice scenarios. When test day came, I answered every single question as myself and didn't try to sound too rehearsed. I really tried to answer the way that I actually would in real life. A few things that I mentioned in my answer that I didn't see other people talk about are relating back the experience to my identity and cultural/ethnic background as a Latina and Hispanic woman, and also incorporating my background in ethnic studies into the answer choices. So I guess an example of this is on the actual test, I think there was an actual person from a Hispanic background in one of the videos that I watched. And I, in my answer, specifically talked about the importance of acknowledging identity and how that might influence how someone responds in any given scenario. And I think this helped me score in the 4th quartile because it shows a really deep cultural understanding of how identity influences how you respond. And it also shows good empathy and the attentiveness to detail. One other thing is on test day, you're actually allowed to use a sheet of paper to write down notes during your video. So what I did was I turned the closed captioning on, I made sure to keep track of whose name was who and who was saying what, and then during the time to reflect, I carefully mapped out how I wanted to respond to each answer. Overall, this helped me have a structured response and didn't make my answer feel like it was all over the place. But yeah, if you're taking the Casper or planning to take the Casper in the future, refer back to this video, or feel free to ask me any questions in the comments. I'm happy to answer. And best of luck with the Casper.